students, today we are going to do some MCQs from neural control and coordination. Okay, these will be the questions. The process through two or more organs interact and complement the functions of each other is coordination. Other system from which nervous system coordinate and integrate in synchronized fashion is endocrine system. Organized network of neural system which provide quick coordination through point-to-point connections. Highly specialized cells in animals which can detect, receive and transmit different kind of stimuli are neurons. What we have learned is detect, receive and transmit. Lower vertebrae in which neural organization is very simple compared to network of neurons is a hydra. Site where all the information are processed and controlled is CNS. Part of PNS which carries impulses from tissue organs to CNS is afferent fibers. Like this is your CNS, and what we gonna, this will let the information come in, so is afferent and this will efferent. Okay, this is CNS. Neural system which relays impulses from CNS to skeletal muscle is somatic neural system. Somatic neural system from CNS to skeletal muscles. The branch of PNS which transmit impulses from CNS to involuntary organs and classified into sympathetic and parasympathetic are ANS, autonomic neural system. Part of PNS which carries impulses from tissue organ to CNS are afferent fibers. Neural system which relays impulses from CNS to skeletal muscle is somatic neural system. Branch of PNS which transmits impulses from CNS to involuntary organs and are classified into sympathetic and parasympathetic neural system is autonomic neural system, ANS. Bulb-like structure which branch of nerve fibers terminate synaptic knob. Chemicals which nerve impulses transmit from one neuron to another are neurotransmitters. Cell which envelop nerve fibers and form myelin sheath around the axon are Schwann cells. Gaps between two adjacent myelin sheaths are known as node of Ranvier. Myelinated and non-myelinated nerve fibers are found in PNS respectively are cranial or spinal nerves and autonomic or somatic nerve fibers. Property of excitability of neurons is due to polarized state of membrane of neurons. At resting state, permeability of K plus ion is comparatively more than that of the sodium ion. Okay. Myelinated and unmyelinated nerve fibers are found in PNS respectively are cranial or spinal nerves and autonomic and somatic nervous system. At resting state, permeability of K ion is more compared to the Na ions. True. Multipolar is cerebral cortex, bipolar is retina of the eye and unipolar is embryonic cells. Okay. At resting stage, the charge of inner surface is due to presence of more K plus ion and negatively charged protein molecules. 1 minute. So this is cells, so intracellular fluid and extracellular fluids. Okay, and protein. Okay. So here in resting state and when sodium influx occurs as in case of depolarization in polarized state, and here negative occurs. Okay. When a stimulus is applied on axonal membrane, the generation of axon potential is due to change permeability for sodium ions. Generation of axon potential is the state of exciting stage. Junction from which impulses is transmitted through one neuron to another is known as synapse. Type of synapse in which transmission of impulse across neuron is similar to conduction along a single axon. Electrical synapse. Inside the skull, the brain is covered by soma or membrane called as meninges or meninx. Deep cleft which divides cerebral longitudinally into two halves known as median fissure. Tract of nerve fiber which connect both cerebral hemisphere is corpus callosum. The portion of cerebra which is grayish in appearance is cerebral cortex. The region of cerebral cortex which is neither motor nor sensory is association area. Major coordinating center of forebrain which is wrapped around the cerebrum and responsible for motor and sensory signaling is thalamus. The important part of forebrain which control body temperature, urge for eating and drinking and has several groups of neurosecretory cell is hypothalamus. Inner part of cerebral hemisphere which is involved in sexual behavior, motivation, expression of emotional reactions and a group of associated deep structure called amygdala and hippocampus are limbic system. Canal of midbrain which connects forebrain and midbrain is cerebral aqueduct. Round swelling or dorsal portion of the midbrain is known as corpora quadrigemina. Okay. Round swellings at dorsal portion of the midbrain is corpora quadrigemina. Involuntary response process which involves involvement of CNS and without conscious effort is reflex action. The reflex pathway requires at least one afferent and one efferent. Layer of eyeball which contains many blood vessels and bluish in color is choroid. Anterior part of choroid layer which hold lens by ligament is ciliary body. Regulating muscles which control the pupil is a part is iris. Innermost layer of retina which is situated towards vitreous chamber is ganglionic cell. You can learn it by the name of the PBG, ganglionic, bipolar and photoreceptor cells. Okay. Outermost layer of retina which holds sensory neurons like rods and cones is photoreceptor cells. The daylight or photopic or color vision and twilight scotopic vision are functions of respectively cones and rods. You can learn it by C for color and C for cones. Okay. And R for rat and R for rods. Okay. Type of cones which possesses their own characteristic photopigments are red, green and blue lights. Point of posterior pole which is medial to slightly above the posterior pole where optic nerve leaves is blind spot. Center of pit of yellowish pigments macula lutea is fovea. Densely packed portion of macula lutea which where visual acuity is greatest is fovea. A space called vitreous chamber filled with transparent gel-like substances found in between lens and retina. Photosensitive compounds in the human eye which is composed of a protein and an aldehyde of vitamin A is respectively opsin and retinal. Generation of active potential concerned with this layer of retina is ganglionic layer. Sensory functions which are considered for ear are hearing and maintenance of body balancing. Middle ear which contains three ossicle in keychain like fashion are namely malleus, incus and stapes. Ossicle which are attached with the oval window of cochlea is stapes. Middle ear connected to pharynx through eustachian tube. Middle ear plus the pharynx is eustachian tube. Series of channel formed by bones is filled with perilymph. Coil portion of membranous labyrinth is filled with endolymph. Okay. Upper part of the bony labyrinth filled with perilymph and separated by Rayner's membrane by cochlea is sclera vestibuli. Scala vestibuli and scala tympani, it's at the window respectively, oval and round window. Okay. Hearing apparatus located on basilar membrane is organ of Corti. Basilar membrane, organ of Corti. Vestibular apparatus related with body balance consists of semicircular canal and otolith organ. A is synaptic knob. Here A is synaptic knob. B is axon terminal. C is node of Ranvier. D is myelin sheath. E is axon. F is Schwann cells. G is nucleus and H is cell body. I is Nagell's granules, R RNAs, and J is dendrites. A is axon, B is axon terminal, and C is synaptic vesicles. D is presynaptic membrane. E is synaptic cleft and postsynaptic membrane on which receptors are present on. Postsynaptic contains receptors. Okay. Which part of ear determines the pitch of the sound is cochlea. Cochlea determines the pitch. Which part of human brain is mostly developed is cerebrum. Which part of central nervous system act as master clock is hypothalamus. Master clock of our body is hypothalamus, and most developed part of the human brain is cerebrum. And which part of the ear determine the pitch? Pitch is determined by the cochlea. Okay, so this comes the end of the session and of class 11 syllabus. So next time I will teach all of you class 12 syllabus. Okay, so all the best for NEET 2021. Okay, let's crack the NEET 2021.